Hi friends, in last video we discussed about initiation of apoptosis by formation of apoptosome and death receptor. So in this video we are going to see about caspase family of protease. So we know already apoptosome and death receptor is going to cause apoptosis by stimulation of caspase family of protease. So now we will see in detail what is this caspase family. So first we will see what is the classification of caspase and its role. So totally in our human body we have almost 11 members of caspase. In that some are not involved in apoptosis, few are involved in apoptosis. So now we will see each caspase. Caspase 1, the function of caspase 1 is cytokine maturation. Role of caspase 14 is skin development. Caspase 4 and 5. Caspase 4 and 5 is for inflammation. So now we will see apoptotic caspases. That is caspase 2, 8, 9 and 10. 2, 8, 9, 10. They are called as initiator caspases. This initiator caspase will activate the caspase 3, 6 or 7, which is called as effector caspases. So for today's topic we are discussing about apoptosis. We need to know the caspase 2, 8, 9, 10, which is initiator caspase, and caspase 3, 6 and 7, which is the effector caspase. So this caspase 2 and 9 has domain. So what is the domain? It is caspase recruitment domain, or we can call it in short as CARD, caspase recruitment domain. And caspase 8 and 10. So this 8 and 10 has one domain, that is called as death effector domain. That is death effector domain. So what this domain is going to do? It is going to enable protease that will interact with molecules that is going to regulate the activity of apoptosis. So this is about caspase 2 and 9, which has the domain CARD, and caspase 8 and 10, which has death receptor domain. Both are going to interact with molecules that is going to regulate apoptotic activity. Okay. So now what this initiator caspase will do? We have said two caspases, which is initiator and effector. So this initiator caspase, the function of initiator caspase is it will cleave proenzyme form of effector caspase leading to activation form. Okay, the proenzyme form, which is the inactive form of effector caspase, into active form of effector caspase, that is going to cause apoptosis. So this is the function of initiator caspase 2, 8, 9, 10, and our effector caspases will be 3, 6 and 7. Understood? So now we will see caspase cascades. So in caspase cascade, the sequential proteolytic activation of one caspase after another in an orderly fashion during the initiation of apoptosis. So first the initiator caspase will be activated and then it will activate the effector caspases. So this is the cascade, means first some caspase will be activated and then it will go for a other caspase to activate it, which is occurring in an orderly fashion. So our caspase inhibitors, that is going to regulate this process. Okay, so next we will see about apoptosome. Death receptor. Anything else? Granzyme. B. All this is going to activate caspase. But here our apoptosome will activate initiator caspase 9. But our death receptor will activate our initiator caspase 8 and 10. So for each process there will be different caspases coming into action. So once the respective caspases has been activated, it will leads to degradation of proteins, that is both nuclear protein and cytoplasmic proteins. So this protein can be either nuclear laminins or structural proteins, fibrous protein, whatever it is, the proteins will be targeted for degradation. So now the caspase activated DNAs will come into action. So caspase activated DNAs. So DNAs will lyse. So it will enter into nucleus and it will going to fragment or break DNA into short fragments with help of endonuclease. So now what it will cause, once the DNA has been fragmented, when we are going to do gel electrophoresis, instead of getting the picture as a single strand, this is normal, we will get as a short fragmented DNAs in our gel electrophoresis in apoptosis. This is due to the action of caspase activated DNAs. So this is about caspase action in apoptosis. Next we are going to see about BCL2 family members in apoptosis. So this BCL2 will have two actions. What are the two actions? It can have some proteins which is responsible for pro-survival, and also it has some proteins which is responsible for pro-apoptotic. It is going to cause the cell to survive, it is going to cause the cell to die. So what are the proteins under these two subtopics? It is BCL2 and BCLXL. So these two are going to cause the cell to survive, whereas BIM, BID, DAX and BAC, all these are pro-apoptotic proteins of BCL2 superfamily. So now we will see as with illustration how this pro-apoptotic is going to cause apoptosis. So this is the lipid bilayer. We know by the action of death receptor, it will cause the death domain to activate. How it will get activated? By binding to adapter proteins such as FADD, fast associated death domain. So now this activated state will convert procaspase 8 to activated form, which is caspase 8. So this caspase 8, now what it will cause? So this will cause cleavage of bid to T bid, and hence this T bid will convert, or it will translocate back and backs from cytosol to mitochondria. In previous video we discussed that when caspase is activated, backs will be entering into mitochondria. How it is entering? So it is by cleavage of bid to T bid. So once the bid has been cleavage, this will translocate this 2 which is present in cytosol. Now it will enter into, or it will present in mitochondrial membrane. So in mitochondrial membrane, our bid and back will present, and it will form a channel, and this channel, what it will cause? It will cause release of cytochrome C. So we know from cytochrome C, it will bind with apoptosis activating factor, leading to formation of apoptosome. So once apoptosome is present, it will convert inactive caspase 9 to active caspase 9, and this now going to activate the effector caspases 3 or 6 or 7, leading to protein degradation, that is proteolysis, causing apoptosis. So this is the function of BCL2 family. So far we have discussed how apoptosis is occurring and what are their biological significance. What is the role of BCL2 and caspases in apoptosis? Now we will see few diseases related to apoptosis. So in diseases in apoptosis, first we are going to see about cancer. What is cancer? There will be multiplication of cells. Our apoptosis is not functioning properly, so it will leads to alteration in homeostatic balance. So if the homeostatic balance is not correct, or if the balance is not there, it will leads to either excessive production of cells. So why there is an alteration in homeostatic balance? Because there is an alteration in the expression of our apoptotic regulatory proteins, such as apoptosis activator factors, or BCL2 family pro-apoptotic factors. All this expression, altered expression, will cause alteration in homeostatic balance. For example, mutant APF1 is causing prostate tumor. Similarly, mutant BCL2, that is overexpression of BCL2, will cause lymphoma. It is also implicated in breast, prostate cancer, lung cancer, melanoma, etc. So now our target towards this cancer therapy, our new cancer therapies are designed for activating the apoptosome or other mechanism to stimulate caspase. So our cancer therapies are designed to activate the caspase cascade, so it will cause apoptosis. So this is about apoptosis in cancer. Next, what it is causing in autoimmune conditions. So autoimmune conditions such as rheumatoid arthritis, systemic lupus erythematosus, or type 1 diabetes mellitus. In all this condition there is defective apoptosis, or these are also examples for defective apoptosis. So defective fast death receptor, which we know the mechanism in which we discussed in previous video, that is the fast death receptor. If it is defective, it will leads to increased apoptosis, increased death of pancreatic islet cells. So if there is more apoptosis of pancreatic islet cells, the pancreatic beta cell function will be decreased. So if there is this decrease in pancreatic beta cell function, it will leads to type 1 diabetes mellitus. So this is one of the mechanism how the defective fast death receptor is causing type 1. There will be other conditions also leading to type 1 diabetes mellitus, but if we are concerned about apoptosis, this is the cause for type 1 diabetes mellitus. Similarly, in one more example, that is AIDS, HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. So in AIDS, there is an inappropriate deletion or depletion of CD4 T helper cells. We know in AIDS there will be very less T cell count. So the inappropriate CD4 T helper cell will decrease total T cells in the affected individual. So what it will cause? This is due to HIV protein, HIV virus protein. So this HIV virus protein will promote apoptosis of T cells. The inappropriate depletion of T cell, there will be a decrease in total T cell also. Why there is decrease in total T cell count? First, it can be due to either HIV protein promoting apoptosis of T cells, or this HIV protein will inactivate anti-apoptotic BCL2 hunting. Okay, it can either directly promote apoptosis or it will inactivate anti-apoptotic factors of BCL2. So both leading to decrease in T cell count in HIV infections. If we are going to see about neurodegenerative illness, a common condition which is occurring due to apoptosis. First, it is schizophrenia. There will be delusion, hallucinations, or any change in emotional states, and also in Alzheimer, which is the old age disease. People tend to forget things which is more common to them. So in both the conditions, there is an altered neuronal apoptosis. So due to neuronal apoptosis, these conditions are causing. There will be other causes also, but this is also one of the cause causing schizophrenia and Alzheimer's disease related to neurodegenerative illness. So next, we have to see about some laboratory assessment of apoptosis. So lab assessment, one thing or very old thing is DNA ladder. In apoptosis, due to DNA fragmentation, in our gel electrophoresis, our DNA will looks like a fragmented or ladder-like appearance. But this is very old method of assessment. So the next one is tunnel method. So what is tunnel? It is terminal uridine deoxynucleotidyl transferase. So terminal uridine deoxynucleotidyl transferase. So this will nick the ends labeling and it will detect the DNA fragmentation based on the presence of strand breaks or nicks in the DNA. Okay, so what it is going to do? So what it is going to do is, it is going to detect DNA fragmentation. The tunnel will detect DNA fragmentation based on the presence of strand breaks or nicks, based on nicks whether it is present in DNA or not. Okay, so the third method and very important method is annexin 5 affinity assay. So what is this affinity? What is this annexin 5? Normally in apoptosis, if a cell is going to apoptosis, the cell will give a signal or the cell membrane will give a signal. We have phospholipids and glycolipids and cholesterol in our lipid bilayer, but some phospholipids will present in the outer layer and some phospholipids will present in the inner layer. But for a signal of apoptosis, there will be one phospholipid which is phosphatidylserine. So this phosphatidylserine, which is normally present in the inner membrane, will now flip-flop and it will come to upper surface. If this phosphatidylserine is coming to apoptosis, this is the signal. This phosphatidylserine, if comes to outer layer, it is a signal of apoptosis. So now when this annexin 5, which is a protein, will bind to phospholipids, which is phosphatidylserine. So this is how we can find out whether the cell has undergoing apoptosis or not. So the fourth important lab assessment is by flow cytometry. So in flow cytometry, we will be allowing the cells to pass through a tube. So whenever it is going to pass through the tube or through a hole, each and every cell will be removed, and here we have laser light, and this will start to cause either forward scattering or side scattering of the cells. So this forward scattering will tell us about cell size, and side scattering will tell us about granularity of the cell. If we compare an apoptotic cell with a normal cell, this is a normal cell and this is apoptotic cell, the size is decreased. Here it is normal, and granularity will be, in normal cell it will be normal, but here there is an increased granularity. There will be release of granular substances from the cytosolic organelles. So there will be increased granularity. Hence what it will cause with flow cytometry? The forward scattering, it will show decreased cell size, and side scattering will show increased granularity comparing to the normal cells. Hence this is an effective method of knowing about the cellular structures and also the cellular components by flow cytometry. Hence with this our apoptosis is ending. In next video we will see a few points, or we will discuss about necrosis. Hence as a combination of apoptosis and necrosis, our cell death topic is completed.